Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham. In a moment, we're going to bring you this week's episode of Charlie Chan. But first, I do want to encourage you to check out our other podcast, and I'm going to go ahead and cite the Great Adventurers of Old Time Radio at greatadventures.info. Currently, we are playing Flash Gordon and Cloak and Dagger. And we have so many great heroes coming your way, including Buck Rogers, Counter Spy, the Scarlet Pimpernel, and even more. Follow us on the Great Adventurers of Old Time Radio for the best in all sorts of adventure stories from the golden age of radio. Well, now we are going to get into our final episode of the Landini murder case. Now, there are a total of 33 episodes of this serial in circulation, so we are going to play the last 3. So this episode is going to be a bit longer. In addition to that, between the time that I recorded the last episode and the time I listened to the final 3 parts, I read the rest of The Keeper of the Keys, which was the Earl Durr Biggers novel on which this particular serial was based. So I will be able to talk after the podcast how this measures up and where the novel might have been different, and offer my thoughts on both the novel and the serial. And of course, as I mentioned last week, I recorded my prediction for who did it, my solution to the case, and I will say that I recorded that prior to reading the rest of Keeper of the Keys. And the first half of that book did not really have a whole lot of information that wasn't included in the radio program. So it was mostly based on my observation of what we heard on the radio as opposed to anything I read in the novel. But now let's go ahead and take a listen, and when we come back after the mystery, you'll hear my solution and we can talk about how close I actually got.
The most delightfully fascinating character in the realms of mystery, Charlie Chan. The solution of the murder of Ellen Landini at Pine View draws near. Charlie Chan has promised that before night, everyone shall know who committed the double murder. Leslie Beaton has just confessed to Sheriff Holt that she saw Ah Sing leave the study by the balcony immediately after hearing the shot. And Inspector Chan, knowing that the confession would be forthcoming, had left the two lovers alone. And now, the Honolulu detective, accompanied by Cecile, returns to the study to find Louis Romano standing before the fire.
Be pleased, if you will, Cecile. Step into study.
Certainly, monsieur.
Ah, Mr. Romano. I did not know that you were here.
No. As I come to study, I meet the sheriff and Mr. Beaton going down to living room. If I'm in the way, what do you call the truth?
Not
I
at
will
all,
leave,
Mr. Romano. Cecile,
Yes, Monsieur Chan.
on top of desk are 2 scarfs. Do you recognize them?
Mais oui, but yes, Monsieur l'Inspecteur. One is the pink one, belonged to Miss Beaton.
And the other, Cecile? The other?
The other, Monsieur Chan, is the green one. The green one belonged to Landini. The one belonged to the green costume she wear the night she is killed.
Correct, Cecile. Be so kind, if you will, to examine the green scarf very carefully. Tell me, Cecile, what do you see?
Nothing, Monsieur. Not one single thing. If Monsieur will tell me what he wants, I'd try to see what it is Monsieur's eyes detect.
Nothing, Cecile. That is all.
Oh, Monsieur. I do not what you say, comprenez?
No, Cecile, you do not. Tell me, Cecile, is your husband, Mr. Ireland, in the house?
He is in the garage, Monsieur, with Monsieur Ward.
Tell him I wish to see him later. Thank you so much.
I shall tell him, Monsieur Chan.
Well, Signor Chen, how is the mystery murder progress?
Rapidly, Mr. Romano, quite rapidly. Perhaps, yes, of course. You can help me. I had discussion, Mr. Romano, about the opera score of Mikado, also Prince of Pilsen.
Yes, I know them both. Delightful. My favorite song from the Mikado. It always make me, what is the word? Joyous, yes, joyous. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit willow, tit willow.
Yes, quite so, Mr. Romano. But it was not of the music that I had said discussion. It was on the subject of binding of musical score. The Mikado, for instance, it is bound in brown paper with red lettering.
But no, Signor, not so. You are mistaken.
Yes, Mr. Romano?
Indeed, yes, Signor. The Mikado, all the opera by Gilbert and Sullivan, she is bound in light blue paper with a heavy blue printing. I know, Signor. I have them all in my library. Signor is good detective, but he is wrong on that statement. Or is it...
Yes, Mr. Romano?
Or is it that Signor Chan is trying a little game on me, like a test to see whether or not... so it is it, yes, Cecile. You ask her to pick up a scarf. Why? To see whether or not... Signor, you are clever. You make the test to see whether or not Louis Romano is a colorblind.
Quiet, Mr. Romano. Not one word. Yes, I admit, you have discovered reason for my questioning. Happy to say that you are no longer suspect. But please, not a word to anyone.
You cannot trust Louis Romano. I know nothing. I am very discreet. So it is there the secret lies.
Please, Mr. Romano, someone may come to study. In fact, yes, I hear voices. Come in, please. Mr. Ward, Mr. Ireland, Miss Beaton, and Sheriff. Come in, please.
Inspector, I require a few things from Reno. Would it be possible for Ireland to take Cecile over there to get them for me?
Certainly, Mr. Ward. Makes me feel very officious that you should ask me.
Not at all, Mr. Chan. Naturally. I do not expect to be treated differently than the others. They will be back here before dinner.
Sure we will. Be back here before 3 o'clock.
Before you go, Mr. Ireland, does this look like scarf Madame Landini was waving from balcony that fateful night?
I couldn't tell, Mr. Chan. At that distance, I couldn't tell the difference between that green scarf and that pink one. Besides, I had my goggles, you know, and they give everything a sort of brownish tinge when it's as dark as it was at that time.
Quite so, Mr. Ireland. It's really foolish for me to ask.
Well, if there isn't anything else, I'll get along and get these things for Mr. Ward.
Certainly, Mr. Ireland. Nothing else at all.
If you don't need me, Mr. Chan, I'll see them off and give my final instructions.
Quite so, Mr. Ward. Nothing that I desire of you at this moment.
Oh, hello, John. Coming into the study?
Just bringing old Sam up to see Chan.
Honored Mr. Holt, come into study. Your son and Miss Beaton are on window alcove, oblivious to everything but each other. Mr. Ryder, can you spare a moment, please?
I suppose so, Chan, provided it's important.
Oh, did someone say something to me?
Not exactly, Sheriff.
Oh, hello, Dad. Cash Shannon bring you over?
Yes, son.
Here, sit beside me, Mr. Holt.
Thank you, Leslie.
Mr. Ryder, you are engineer, mining engineer, are you not?
Yes, Chan. You know that without asking.
What I was going to ask was, have you ever mined gold? I thought being in California, perhaps...
I've mined gold rather successfully here in California.
Tell me, Mr. Ryder, how does one recognize gold? Subject fascinates me. What are, shall we say, physical characteristics of gold?
Well, its characteristic color is yellow. That yellow is, however, affected by other metals. A high percentage of silver tends to lessen the yellow color, whereas copper tends to heighten it. When the gold's finely divided, as in purple of Cassius, or when, say, it's precipitated from solution, the color's red, ruby red. And then in thin sheets, it has a greenish tinge, a sort of greenish light.
Then much of your success depends upon recognition of very fine dividing line between colors?
To a certain extent. Of course, these are only rough suggestions. Chemical analysis is the final word.
Yes, quite so, Mr. Ryder. Well, thank you very much for information. My knowledge of chemistry and metallurgy is very, very limited. Not nearly as expansive as my knowledge of trees.
Anything else you wanted?
Not a thing, Mr. Ryder. Thank you so much. Mr. Ryder is certainly not colorblind, nor is Romano, for I have just tested him. Cecile has no difficulty in picking out green from pink scarf.
I didn't want to say anything when we first came in.
You do not have to tell us that, Sheriff. You were quite busy. Tell me, Miss Beaton, is date for wedding arranged for as yet?
Why, well, how did you know? That is what Don and I were discussing. You see, we wondered...
Yes, Miss Beaton?
I suppose Don should be the one to speak of it, but we wondered if we held the wedding early enough, would you be the honored guest?
My dear Miss Beaton, Leslie, it is honor which overwhelms me to feel that I have made such friends in murder mystery that they should desire my presence at their marriage. I shall be delighted.
Doggone, Inspector. I'm sure glad to hear that. I feel that I owe you such a lot for solving this case.
Alas, the case is not as yet solved.
But, Leslie, as I said, I didn't want to say anything in front of the rest, but Leslie just...
Doggone.
What's the matter, Dad?
I just forgot. Cass Shannon is standing downstairs waiting on you. He wants to ask something. I told him I'd tell you.
I wonder what he wants. Come on, Leslie. We'll go down and see.
All right, Don.
In another minute, Mr. Chan, it'd have been too late.
What? What is that, Mr. Holt?
Leslie has been and told Don about seeing R. Singh come out of the study onto the balcony after the shot.
I thought she would when I absented myself from study.
And Don hasn't had time to tell you?
No, Mr. Holt.
And until someone does tell you, you don't have to know that R. Singh was seen leaving by the balcony window.
Technically, you are correct, Mr. Holt. I have only my guesswork upon which to base an opinion.
Mr. Chan, I'm 78 years old.
An honorable age.
A happy one, too, because I'm here among my own folks, in the country I've always known. But now, just supposing I was in some foreign country, what would I want more than anything?
You would wish to see again your native village, to tread the self-same soil wherein you will be laid to rest.
You're a smart man, Mr. Chan. You got me right away. Inspector, Don ain't never made you a deputy. You ain't got no real authority here.
Quite so, Mr. Holt. I am but regent in authority.
You ain't got no authority. You ain't under oath. And, Mr. Chan, I'm blind.
Thank you, Mr. Holt. I speak in broken voice for my entire race when I say I thank you. You will pardon me now, I know. I have little errand to perform.
Of course you have. And if it should happen and I don't never meet a certain old friend of mine again, shake his hand, give him my love, and tell him I'm proud to have known him.
I cannot speak, Mr. Holt, but thank you so much.
A quick handshake, A few emotional words of thanks, and Charlie Chan slips down the back passageway, finds his way to Ah Sing's room, and in Cantonese, with many gestures, signifies to Ah Sing that he is to accompany him quietly and as invisibly as possible to the garage. In a few minutes, Pine View is behind them as the car speeds down the roadway, Charlie Chan gripping the steering wheel while Ah Sing sits silently by his side.
Suppose now, maybe we catch him jail.
You are a very wicked man. In China, your head would have been struck from your aged body. Here, in this foreign land, you would have been placed like wild animal in caged with steel bars. Jail is what you richly deserve.
So, I catch him jail, boss?
To the contrary, you are to catch boat for China.
All right, boss.
All right? Is that the extent of your remarks? They are doing you great favor, a tremendous kindness. And you reply, all right. The courteous man, Ah Sing, would not stop at that.
Oh, me very much obliged.
That is better.
Yeah.
Still appears inadequate, but it is slightly better. Two warring emotions, Ah Sing, stir within me. Gladness for you, ancient one, that you are to return to the land of your birth. But Ah Sing, torments of indecision tear at my breast. After all these many years on police force in Honolulu, years, Ah Sing, beset by temptations, promises from wealthy merchants whose wares are frowned upon by island police, promises from others that I too should be wealthy, would I but close my eyes to certain facts. These years, Ah Sing, are set at naught, since I am assisting you in your escape.
Oh, me very sorry, boss. Ah Sing, number one, a very old man, you sorry. Not so much to live now. Suppose American policeman hang Ah Sing? All right. No can help. No care very much. We go back to Pine View.
Apart from your erroneous impressions of duty of American policemen, Sing, there are other things. But please, I am not greatest driver in world. Now I require attention to be concentrated upon operation of this not too youthful vehicle. We have only sufficiency of time to arrive coincident with arrival of train at San Francisco. You have money, Ah Sing?
Me got them.
Then you will purchase your own ticket. I am sorry, but we do not also furnish fare. We have 3 or 4 minutes, Ah Sing. I desire to impress upon you certain facts. The government has fallen upon evil times. It cannot even afford to squander a small piece of rope upon a man like you, old man who is to die soon in any case. So it says, return to China and nowhere else.
All right. I will go.
I envy you, Honorable Sing. You will again sit before the children of your village. You will supervise the selection of your own burial place. I myself will see that your trunk is prepared and sent to you. Where shall I send it?
For the establishment of my brother, Sing Gao in Jackson Street, the fish shop of delicious odors.
It shall be done. For you, the past dies this afternoon. The future is born here, now. You understand?
Me understand. Yeah.
I am honored bearer of affectionate message for you, ancient one. Mr. Sam Holt has sent it. He is proud to have known you.
An honorable man. May the 4 nails of his coffin be of purest gold.
To match his heart. Yes, I think. We alight here. Không có đã chính cái giảm với cái chỉ có listen chelo.
Nó mua lên đến.
You still limp. Your knee still troubles you?
On a very bad knee here. Plenty sore knee all right.
Yes, indeed, yes. Yes. The wound you acquired when you bumped into dressing table bench in Landini's old sitting room?
Sure. After me, shoot.
Enough, Sing. Do not poke your finger through your own paper lantern. Luck is running high for you today, Ah Sing. Be cautious lest the heart of the law yet harden against you. Here is the train. Make purchase of ticket on way. It will avoid sight of 2 Chinese gentlemen at ticket office.
What you say, boy?
Goodbye, Ah Sing. May your entire journey be on the sunny side of the road.
Goodbye. Me forget. You take it easy. Belong bossy. You tell 'em, bossy, so much work in this house. Sing go away, huh?
I shall tell him. Bông quay đến đại chi nào cô? Đại chi. Đâu, lấy xin chứ cô, lấy lên mà. Sạch nhá. Nọ đây nè. Cái đây nhá.
Back at Pine View, Charlie Chan's disappearance passes unnoticed until Dudley Ward and John Ryder, going to the wine cellar, find it locked and start looking for Ah Sing.
Strange, John. Ah Sing doesn't generally hide himself away like this. Come to think of it, I haven't seen him since lunchtime. He may be with Chan. You mean Chan may have arrested him? No, that is, I hardly think so, John. I don't believe Chan would arrest him without talking to me.
Chan would do anything he felt like doing.
Well, we looked for him in the living room. He may be there.
I don't understand it, Leslie. I've searched the whole house, and I can't find him anyplace.
Has anyone seen Ah Sing?
Not a single lunch of time, Mr. Ward. He was in the kitchen when I was take a walk after lunch.
I haven't seen him, Mr. Ward, nor Inspector Chan either. I've looked all over the place for him, too.
I saw Ah Sing at the garage about 2 o'clock, I think it was.
I left Inspector Chan in the study with Dad, and I came down to talk with Kay Shannon. When we, that is, Leslie and I, returned, well, Chan had stepped out for a minute, so Dad said.
That's right, son, but I wouldn't worry about Inspector Chan. He can look after himself.
I'm not worried about Chan, but I am anxious about Ah Sing.
Well, I don't know as I'd worry much about Sing. He's pretty able to look after himself, too.
Well, Mrs. O'Farrell hasn't seen him for a couple of hours. And, of course, Cecile and Ireland have been gone all afternoon.
Here is a car approaching now. Ireland and Cecile, I think it is. Yes, it is.
Yes? Yes. Yes, certainly. For you, Sheriff.
Thanks. Hello? Oh, yes, Rankin. Yeah. Yeah? Oh, Gleason dead, huh? Yeah. All right. Yeah? Yes, it's all right. Goodbye.
Here you are, Mr. Ward. All that stuff from Reno. And, by the way, we just overtook Inspector Chan driving the old car.
Where?
Down the road a little way. He'll be here in a minute.
Good. I'm going to the study. Tell Chan I want to see him there. Come on, Leslie. You too, Dad.
What's the matter, Don? You seem upset.
I am upset.
Who was that on the phone, Don?
Rankin of the Chronicle. He said that Gleason was over at the depot and saw Chan and Ah Sing there.
Yes?
Yes, and Gleason said that he saw Chan put Ah Sing on a train for San Francisco.
Well, now, don't get all het up about it. Wait till Mr. Chan gets here.
Don't get all het up about it. Doggone it, after what Leslie told me about seeing Ah Sing come out of the study onto the balcony after hearing that shot.
Well, now, sit down, son, and quit storming. There's an explanation for everything.
Here, Mr. Holt. Sit down by the fire. Oh, I wouldn't worry about it, Don. Mr. Chan isn't likely to do anything wrong.
Well, I don't get it at all. He just disappears, doesn't say anything about it to anyone. Then I get this call from Rankin. I had to pretend to Rankin that it was all right. Try to act as if I knew all about it.
Well, you probably know all about it in a few minutes. Mr. Chan said that he'd tell you who the murderer is before the day was out. And it's getting pretty well on to dinner time now.
Sheriff? Mr. Ward said that you awaited me in study.
Yes, Inspector. I had a phone call from Bill Rankin. He tells me that you just took Ah Sing over to the train at Truckee. I suppose that was a favor, eh?
Now, hold your horses, Don.
I've been double-crossed, made a fool.
Oh, well, now, if you have, I done it. I told Mr. Chan to take Ah Sing to Truckee. I told him to help Ah Sing get away to China.
You? To China? And all the time you knew he was guilty as Sam Hill. You knew he came to this room and found Landini.
I know all that, son.
One moment, please. I cannot allow you, Mr. Holt, to shoulder responsibility for all blame.
Now, how could you let me down like this? You know I'm a sworn officer. I've taken my oath to uphold the law.
Now, we know all that, son, but there ain't any...
I'm not going to stand here and talk. I'm going.
Going, Sheriff? And going where?
To San Francisco.
But for what?
For what? To get Ah Sing, to fetch him back. Arrest him for the murder of Landini.
One moment, Sheriff. You are making grave mistake. Ah Sing did not murder Landini.
But what was that you said?
I remarked, my dear Sheriff, that Ah Sing did not kill Madame Landini, nor did he kill Dr. Swan. Surely, Sheriff, you do not think that I am so little concerned in seeing justice done that I should deliberately assist in escape of murderer?
Well, I just didn't get it at all.
But now to the immediate business of making good our promise to arrest murderer before this day has joined all other days in antiquity. We must all leave study. I have little rearrangement of desk here to do. Then we proceed to dining room as though nothing more important than evening meal were in our minds.
You delivered my message to old Ah Sing, Mr. Chan.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, yes, Mr. Holt. Ah Sing's eyes filled with tears, and he remarked that he wished that the 4 nails of your coffin to be the purest gold. It was highest compliment of which unemotional Ah Sing was capable. Sheriff?
Yes, Inspector?
Remember why guests came to Pine View. At request of Mr. Ward, who desired information concerning son he believed had been born to Landini after her separation from him.
Yes. Yes, of course. And the fact that Romano said that he had heard of that son.
Correct, Sheriff. But not so important as one other thing. Essential clue had we but realized it was such. I very much fear that my friend, Inspector Duff of Scotland Yard, to whom I am indebted for phrase, essential clue, yes, I am certain Inspector Duff would have realized it.
I can't even guess.
You got me there, Mr. Chan.
I think I know. The letter.
Correct, Sheriff. The letter addressed to John Ryder. Will you be so kind as to take my arm, Mr. Holt?
Yes, thank you. Right with you, Inspector.
Leslie?
Trying to smile, Don, but it's hard.
Stay very much in background, if you please, when we reach living room. One so small slip may rob us of necessary truth we seek.
Right, Inspector.
I guess so. Since Ah Sing's disappeared with the keys to the sideboard as well as the cellar.
Oh, there you are, Mr. Chan. We missed you this afternoon.
So sorry, Mr. Ward, but I had business which could not wait.
Something strange has happened, Mr. Chan. Ah Sing has disappeared.
Yes?
Perhaps Chan can throw some light upon the disappearance of Sing.
I can. I am grieved to tell you, Mr. Ward, that all evidence uncovered so far indicates with painful certainty that Ah Sing is person who fired that shot which sent us hurrying to study to find Landini's dead body stretched upon floor.
I don't believe it. I don't care where the evidence points. Sing never killed Landini.
But if Sing himself admits that he did...
Where is he? I'd go to him at once. Poor Sing. Why?
That I fear is impossible. The sheriff was about to arrest him when he dropped from sight.
Then he got away?
For the time being, he may yet be apprehended. I'm so sorry, Mr. Ward. This must be a great shock for you. I have stopped in dining room for only one moment to say I appreciate your hospitality. I leave this house at once. There is nothing more I can do.
I suppose not. But you must not go until one thing is settled. I promised you $1,000 to undertake the search for my son.
But, Mr. Ward, the search was so brief.
No matter. There was nothing about that in our agreement. Wait just a moment, please. I will write you a check.
So, Ah Sing got away.
Me too, Mr. Ryder. I can't help it. I am, what do you call, elated, pleased.
You, Mr. Ryder, find only pleasure in escape of Ah Sing?
Need I conceal that, Chan?
Sing was very good friend to you.
One of the best friends I ever had. As I said before, Sing was one of the real Chinese.
Then, Mr. Chan, the mystery is solved. I cannot go. You say you are leaving this house now, huh? I will go with you. Not 1 other minute will I stay.
Landini's money burning holes in your pockets, Romano?
Ah, poof, you think you make me angry, huh? You think your words are hurting Louis Romano, huh? No, but no, I consider myself justified. You, all of you other husbands, what do you do for that glorious voice, huh? Only stifle it. That is what you do. Oh, but me, Louis Romano, I make her the famous prima donna. I, the giver, the greatest singer.
Here you are, Mr. Chan.
Oh,
Your check.
Thank you so much.
Won't you have a farewell drink, Chan? I remember. You don't drink, do you? And anyway, Singh went off with the keys. John and I have been sitting here all evening with parched throats.
Thank you so much for reminding me. I'm so sorry, but I have been on point of forgetting. Here are keys, entrusted to me by Ah Singh just before his escape.
Well, that is a bit of luck. Here, John. Help yourself to a cordial with your coffee. I will. Sure you won't change your mind, Mr. Chan?
I'm a great believer in ceremony. In old days in China, refusal to drink parting libation would be slur on hospitality of the host. A small taste, if you will be so good.
Fine. Here is an extra glass. Oh, John, help the inspector to whatever he desires.
A little port wine, please. One thing more. In China, in old days, refusal of host to pour parting libation himself might well have been regarded as slur on departing guests. But I do not press the point. You understand, I recall my first dinner at your table. I recall how courteous you were, how you served the cocktails yourself, how nothing, Mr. Ward, was too much trouble until that tray of decanters was placed before you. And then, how you shouted for Ah Singh, how Singh had to return from kitchen before cordials could be served. These little things, how they register in detectives' minds, how I was to recall them later. I said to myself, can it be that Mr. Ward is colorblind?
Ward? What are you raving about, Chan?
It was interesting question. I observed in study on writing desk 2 kinds of ink, black on right side, red on left. A moment ago, before I left study, I took liberty of changing their respective positions. Mr. Ward, check which you gave me is written in red ink, so you are colorblind after all.
And what if I am?
Night of Landini murder, Landini was heard to say, "Oh, it's you, is it? Get my scarf from bedroom, the green one." Landini was found with pink scarf in dead hand. Also, Landini sent me in great hurry to Mr. Ryder's room, matter of life and death, she say. He was seated at desk writing letter addressed to John Ryder. Later, that letter was found burned, but it had been opened. Mr. Ryder maintained that he had never received said letter.
And I still say so. Ken, I never saw that letter.
Quite correct, Mr. Ryder. It was letter to inform you, Mr. Ryder, of death of Dudley Ward's son, and request that after Landini had left Pine View, you, Mr. Ryder, were to break the news to Mr. Ward. But Mr. Ward found said letter. In a fit of rage, he killed Landini.
Are you mad, Inspector?
No, it was you who were mad. After murder, you saw confusion on table. You tried to straighten things, placing red lid on yellow box and yellow lid on red.
I was with you in John Ryder's room when the shot was fired.
Shot which we heard, yes. Shot which was fired to mislead. But alas, Landini was killed in noise and confusion of plane's arrival. Ah Singh, good old Ah Singh, one of the real Chinese. He found you there with smoking gun in your hand. He hurried you from study. Then he fired misleading shot into pine trees.
You can't arrest my friend on theories like these.
But Dr. Swan was also witness of murder. You removed him in preference to paying blackmail.
I am not sorry for killing Swan.
Dudley.
Why, what's the use, John? It's true. All of it. Oh, I don't care. I've got nothing to live for.
Please, Mr. Ward, you are not required to make any statement without benefit of a sacrifice of Lord. I'm so sorry. Take him away, Sheriff.
I'm going with you,
Why, Miss Beaton, Leslie.
I can't help it. Ward, why, I can hardly believe it.
But this is not occasion for tears. Think, it is first of long succession of triumphs for young Sheriff, in whose success you must feel echo of pride.
I suppose you're right.
But yes, I am right. From first moment young Sheriff's eyes lighted upon you, I knew this was inevitable outcome.
Oh, you really are a good detective, aren't you, Mr. Chan?
Before I have said 3 things the wise man does not do. He does not plow the sky. He does not paint pictures on the water. And he does not argue with a woman.
After you have heard from your sponsor, Inspector Chan will be with us again. Well, Mr. Chan, what parting thought have you for us this evening?
Conclusion of Mystery of Murder of Landini brings to my mind ancient saying. The road may seem endless, the hills insurmountable, the night black and starless, and the end of the journey lost in fearsome shadows. But the wise man knows that daylight comes, and that no road is so long but that it reaches at the last its destination.
Thank you, Mr. Chan, and good night.
Welcome back. Who killed Ellen Landini and Dr. Swan? This is my theory after listening to episode 36 of 39. I start with the fact that Ah Seng has done things that implicate himself in the crime. He has refused chances and overtures from Charlie Chan to clear himself, and Inspector Chan doesn't believe he's the killer. So my question would be, why would Ah Seng do this? My answer is that Ah Seng is covering up for someone. The only person in that house that Ah Seng would try to shield is Mr. Dudley Ward. Why did Dudley Ward kill Landini and Dr. Swan? My answer would be that he already knew the son that he and Landini had together was already dead. Remember that we learned that Dr. Swan had been blackmailing Ellen Landini, presumably because he knew about her son. And also remember the fact that Landini was having trouble paying her bills and even paying her commitment to Romano because her money was tied up in real estate. What are the odds that she was keeping up her blackmail payments to Dr. Swan? I think she was failing to make the payments, so Dr. Swan told Dudley Ward. Because he's a blackmailer, and blackmailers are generally awful people. Then Dudley Ward decides he's going to go through the motions of an investigation to find out where his son is. He invites the other husbands and the Beatons, and of course he had already hired Cecile. I wouldn't be surprised if that hiring decision wasn't part of this plot, depending on how far back it was going. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had helped Landini land Ireland as the pilot, thus creating a situation where the murder could occur and there could be an entire house full of suspects, all of whom had reasons to kill Landini and all of whom had their own reasons for wanting to hide their secrets, and thus making it unlikely that he would be caught out. In addition, the fact that he was looking to Landini to tell him where his son was would also be a point against him being considered an actual suspect. Now, I do admit one big flaw in this plan is that he went ahead and he committed a murder with the famous Honolulu detective Charlie Chan present, which would be a very foolish thing to do, but certainly not unprecedented in the annals of detective fiction. Anyway, that's my theory, and now here is my present self to tell us whether I was right or wrong and provide the analysis of this final episode. Okay, in terms of my solution, I actually came pretty close. I got the murderer right, and I think I got the motive right. The big failing in my thinking was my conclusion that this was some cleverly planned and executed cold-blooded plot by Dudley Ward, rather than, as it turned out, a crime of passion that Ah Sing very quickly did his best to cover up and protect his boss. There was a reason they sent him to China, because even though he wasn't the murderer, he really was an accessory after the fact. And it would have been very difficult for him not to get charged with anything. And so they decided to spare him that sort of inglorious fate. Overall, I did enjoy this. I thought it was a really engaging mystery, a lot of twists, a lot of character relationships, many different sort of secrets and lies being played out in the course of the story. It was a bit talky at times, and the pace was not particularly quick, but I enjoyed that. I enjoyed just being able to take the time to kind of experience this whole murder mystery. It's very different. It's a whole lot like reading a classic murder mystery book as opposed to a radio drama. And there's just not a whole lot around like this, so I appreciate it for its rarity. And there was also some depth to the story, to its characters. Now, in terms of comparing it to the book, I think this is a pretty solid adaptation. In its solution, it sticks with the novel, and there are whole passages of dialogue that are ripped right from the novel. The radio program diverts from the book in several ways, but I think most of those are justified by the needs of the radio production, and also might have been influenced by the stage play. Probably the biggest one that the way some events played out in the book as opposed to the audio drama and when they happen. For example, the death of Dr. Swan on the radio occurs in episode 16, and the a huge revelation until in Landini's diary about the killer being colorblind doesn't happen until towards the end of the serial. In the book, the revelation about the killer being colorblind actually occurred 2/3 of the way through the book. And Dr. Swan's murder, it comes about 75% of the way through the book. Essentially ends the book's second act and sets up the third act. And in fact, Charlie Chan wanted to find out whether Dr. Swan was colorblind. So in the book, he gets Leslie Beaton to ask for them to go to a gambling house and they drive to Truckee, which apparently had some legal gambling, and went upstairs to a poker game and played a couple of hands, then left. And in the course of this, Chan was able to find out, because Dr. Swan recognized the color of the chips, that he was not colorblind. And so that eliminated Dr. Swan as a suspect, and then he was murdered. And I mean, you can do that in a novel, and I think it was fine, but as people making a radio play, you're like, okay, why are we going to do this whole scene and introduce this whole location just to have Chan prove that someone who is going to be killed anyway is innocent? So they just went ahead and they had him killed before the whole colorblindness thing became a point. They did quite a bit of that in this story. The radio drama is very claustrophobic. The vast majority of it takes place at Pine View. In the 33 episodes we have, the scenes outside of Pine View that we actually get to observe are those in Reno, where Charlie Chan and Dudley Ward and Mr. Holt are questioning Landini's secretary, and then the scene where Chan drops off Sing so he can catch the train to San Francisco. The book had a bit more. There was a bit more in Reno. In addition, many of the inhabitants of Pine View actually were allowed to leave and relocate to a tavern. That was actually where Dr. Swan was staying when he was murdered, and Romano then moved into his room. I think that they, again, made a production decision. Let's go ahead and consolidate locations as much as possible. And they really do get away with it. The stuff that happened outside of there wasn't necessary, or you have situations where people call or were exposited that somebody told something. And by doing that, they could really just have this core cast of actors keep the story together. And I'd be fascinated to know the behind the mic details. I suspect that there was at least a little doubling up, with at least a couple of actors voicing more than one character. Also, in something that I think was a logical arrangement, the proposal didn't actually happen until after the murder was solved in Keeper of the Keys. Probably the more important stuff in Keeper of the Keys is that I think that the novel was a bit more clear on the relationship between Ward, Ryder, and Ah Sing. Ryder's friendship, or at least acquaintanceship with Ward, predated his marriage to Landini, and Ryder had hung out at the house when he was much younger, and he actually taught Sing how to read English. And there's actually a scene in the book where Ah Sing makes a special dish that he knows that Ryder's going to enjoy because he's known him that long. And I think I might have been a little less confident in my prediction had I read the book and saw that as it was written in the book, the relationship or Ryder's view of Ossing wasn't just some sort of racial sentiment, but it was based on an actual relationship. And also, it very well could be a situation where I could imagine Ossing covering up if Ryder had been the murderer. The book also went into more details on Ward as a person. Sam Holt revealed after the arrest that when Landini had left, Ward had been trying to beat her. Ossing had locked Ward in his room, allowing Landini to make her escape from Pine View. While I viewed her actions in hiding their child from Ward as spiteful, in the book, Holt defended it because he thought she had done it because he knew Dudley wasn't fit to raise a child. Of course, even if true, some people would still debate the morality of her decision. Holt also stated that despite Dudley wore, he was very civil, very polite throughout both the radio play and the book to the end. Sam stated that Dudley was bad-tempered from his youth and a quote-unquote natural drunkard. In fact, Ward actually caused a mysterious wound to Sing. After killing Landini, Ward wanted to get drunk. And this is a house full of guests with the body of Landini there. And Sing recognized this was a bad idea and refused to give the keys, and that was why Ward struck him, which was something he did not want to admit when he was arrested. And to me, reading the end, it gave me some insight into the title of the book, because I thought that when they found that the neighbor had left the keys to his place with Sing, that was what the whole keeper of the keys thing was about. But it was actually all the keys, particularly to the liquor cabinet. Ossing had spent the last 60 years saving Ward from himself, holding the keys like a household designated driver to keep Ward and his family reputation on the road, so to speak. And Ossing would have gladly gone to the gallows in order to continue that. And while there are some ways in which Chan's conversation with Ossing when taking him from Pine View can seem a bit weird and contradictory, I think that Chan had some admiration and respect for Ossing, but he also wanted Ossing to believe that they had decided that he was the killer, and so therefore Ward would be in the clear, which may have been the only way that Ossing could have been gotten to go away. The revelation about Ward's character being very different from his public self revealed a key fact that often pleasant and polite veneers hide dark secrets behind closed doors, which many people who have suffered from domestic abuse, which is a part of the story, have found out in their lives. And similarly, I think that it's very tempting, and certainly would have been in the 1930s, to be very harsh in the judgment of Ellen Landini. But Chan actually found, as he went through her memoirs, that he actually liked her. Didn't think she was perfect, but a big part of her problem was that she had made some very unfortunate matches when it came to her husband. Again, this is not the type of stuff that you think about when you read 1930s literature or when you think about 1930s literature. And it didn't make it to air. I'd speculate that that some of the plot elements would have limited the ability of this program to air in many markets. And this was a series that not only aired or was syndicated around the United States, but it would also be syndicated in other countries, including Australia, before the importation of American radio dramas to Australia was effectively illegal. And given that it came at the end, it's also hard to fit into the neat structure of the radio drama. It also has to be said that even in the context of the book, it presents a problem, because Sam Holt not sharing this until after the arrest is kind of inexplicable. He had definitive opinions of Dudley Ward. He had knowledge of the facts of their marriage. He had knowledge of Ossing's past relationships with Ward and with Landini. I mean, he went as far to say that every family tree has its rottenest apples, and Dudley Ward was the rottenest of his family. And his whole reason why he didn't share any of these observations with Chan or with his son during the investigation is that Ward's name hadn't come up. I mean, a woman is murdered in the house of a man who she fled from in terror, and you spend half the book or the radio drama with the prime suspect being the man who actually aided her escape, and you don't think that's relevant to mention? And the fact is that if Sam Holt had provided the information, then Dudley Ward's name would have come up. So while I appreciated the thematic revelation, I'm kind of glad it didn't work its way into the radio drama, because it really raises some plot issues. One thing that was in the radio drama and not the book, and which I think actually the book was better for not having it, was a scene where Chan was doing these quick fire color tests to eliminate suspects, and you essentially had them eliminated on the air. And I don't think that having the suspects trimmed back by that was particularly helpful dramatically. I mean, it filled time, but it probably just served to make it more obvious who actually did it. And I guess one final thing that was interesting in being different is in the radio drama, Romano states that he was the best of the husbands, but in the book, that was actually Charlie Chan's as well, that he was the kindest of the four husbands. And honestly, looking back, I think a lot of stuff that felt like he was being too clever by half, really, he wasn't. I think Romano's somebody who had been through a bit of an emotional ringer. A divorce is always difficult, but he'd gotten to a point of accepting that this was going to happen. They'd reached the settlement. And so you not only have the divorce, you've got all of this financial stress that comes from promises not being fulfilled and him not being taken care of as the more dependent spouse. So I think that Romano's whole thing was just that he mourned the marriage, he hadn't wanted Landini killed, but he was really ready to move on with his life and get past what had been a really miserable chapter. The book also has more details on Charlie Chan's character. Ward decides to plead guilty so the check won't be needed at trial, and Chan is offered the check, to go ahead and cash it, and he actually destroys it because he doesn't want to get money from someone whose life was ruined as a result of his investigation. And the book shows how human and how much Charlie Chan is engaged with a very empathetic approach. He doesn't even really take pleasure in solving the case. It's a matter of duty and justice because he knows what the consequences will be for the killer. Like with the serial, I really enjoyed Keeper of the Keys. It is not a great book, but I think it's a good one. I do feel like there are a few really great detective books from different subgenres. Whether you're talking about the hard-boiled stories with The Big Sleep or The Maltese Falcon, or you're talking about something like Murder on the Orient Express or Death on the Nile. After that, you've got some really well-written stories that may not be classics, but are really good examples of their particular genre. And that's where I'd put this one. I enjoyed both because I think that it did a good job exploring Chan as a character, both the book and the audio drama. I think the film's very well beloved, but in many of them, he could practically be sidelined by the antics of his kids and, of course, the sidekick Birmingham Brown. Here we really get a measure of the man and the depth of character that Earl Durr Biggers gave him. And he really is such an appealing character, and it has been a lot of fun to bring this to you. And, of course, we have another shorter serial left and then some self-contained episodes as well. But this is really a special and unique treat as far as I'm concerned. Well, listener comments and feedback now. And we start out on YouTube where a listener agreed with my comment in regards to the whole issue of a non-white actor playing Chan. And offered his own thoughts on the portrayal. As an ESL teacher for 25 years in many different countries, including 12 years in mainland China, people have their own accents and issues with English grammar and vocabulary. From my point of view, Charlie Chan's speech pattern is rather typical of someone who hasn't had too much formal English training and just learned rather poorly from just being in society and picking up the language as he goes along in his daily life. A little closer to home, my aunt married someone from Spain in the 60s, and his English never improved from the day he entered the USA till today, although he was a very successful OBGYN in South Florida. It's just that no one could understand him. He is a walking stereotype. Likewise to my Spanish ex-uncle, Charlie tries to make sense of what he's hearing in his Chinese mind by translating, something any decent ESL teacher will prohibit before it becomes habit, because what comes out isn't very natural sounding. This is typical of adult students today, and apparently nothing much has changed in 100 years. The point that Charlie Chan doesn't really fit in is spot on, and that's how Warner Olin played him as well as this radio actor. I contend that Charlie Chan is not an Uncle Tom character, in fact quite the opposite. He is a full-fledged three-dimensional character. His broken English adds to the realness of his character. It's authentic. He's authentic. I agree with the great Key Luke that he's a Chinese hero. I would go further. He's a hero and a very human character and so identifiable on so many different levels. Look at all the actors who have had the privilege of portraying Charlie Chan. This radio actor, Walter Connolly, I should give our star some billing here. Olin, Toller, Winters, Nash, Luke, and then Peter Ustinov in a parody, and Ross Martin. Not sure if I left anybody out. One thing all these actors had for the character of Charlie Chan, respect. And that I think is definitely a fair point. And I also appreciate getting the ESL perspective. That's one of the great things about doing this podcast is I have just lived my life with the sort of limits of experience that I have, so it's great to hear from the experience and perspectives of others, and that's certainly not one I would have been familiar with. And then I have a comment on the website from Raymond regarding the Charlie Chan radio programs being aired. It's good that a series of such vintage exists, although I find these overly laden with dialogue, which lessens their listenability. To negatively compare adopting Chinese characteristics for a role by a non-Oriental actor is foolish. After all, actors are supposed to act. Kay Luke, for instance, was a talented Chinese performer. But would he have equaled Warner Oland or Sidney Toler as Chan instead of enacting one of his children? I think not. I would add that Kay Luke did actually play Charlie Chan or voice him in the 70s Charlie Chan Filmation cartoons. In addition, he did play a detective lead. He took over for Boris Karloff, who had starred in the first 5 Mr. Wong films and appeared in the last one, The Phantom of Chinatown, in 1940. And he acquitted himself quite well. It was a Poverty Row film, so didn't make a whole lot of money, but it is actually a really solid film that's in the public domain. I will say that he probably couldn't have believably played Chan until maybe the very end of the run, and that would have required like some physical changes. When you hear about actors, going through weight-gaining diets, it would have had to have been something like that, plus some makeup. I think you can be fair and honest and say that the racial politics of America at the time really made it impossible that you could have an actor cast as Charlie Chan who was of Asian descent. You would not have had this sort of film series with the more than 40 films. They did have Charlie Chan films that featured actors of Asian heritage, but those films weren't particularly successful, and they tended to make him a secondary character. So really, you had to have a white actor in the lead. That's the only way it would work commercially. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy and appreciate the media productions that came out of them. You make if you're making something commercial, you have to operate on the rules of the society as it exists and what the market will actually pay for. And on the positive side, the Charlie Chan films gave work to so many young actors who just would not have gotten these type of roles. And certainly it helped Kay Luke have the amazing career that he had. And of course, it brought the wonderful all-American antics of the Chan children. And I think you can definitely appreciate the actors who played Charlie Chan, but I don't think it's necessary to pretend that this was just, it was just a merit-based decision. No. This was the 1930s, and Hollywood dealing with the racial sentiments of the time in the only way that it could to put out profitable films. Raymond goes on regarding the idea put forth in the Walter Connolly series of all the suspects being in effect the murderer. This device had been employed earlier by the late Agatha Christie, one example being a tour de force second only to her 1939 classic, And Then There Were None, which the writing she admitted gave her much trouble, and while the solution to the former strains credulity, it is remarkable, especially as put forth in impressive detail by Hercule Poirot. Christie's mystery output more often than not falls short of her finest works, the Miss Marple entries of lesser quality than those featuring her Belgian sleuth, possibly the result of her prolificness, but she is reportedly now the world's most successful writer. Well, thanks so much. Appreciate the comment, Raymond. Then we turn to Holly's email, who has a couple of random thoughts. Normally, I prefer and the first is on Jeff Regan. Normally, I prefer orchestral scores, but Jeff Regan's organist is phenomenal. It's like a little running commentary mirroring the reactions of the audience many times. She also shared her predictions for the possible outcomes of the Charlie Chan mystery. We know Ossing didn't do it. We know none of the other ethnic characters did it, and we know Ryder didn't because he's a nasty jerk. Ossing knows who did it, and also knows that Dudley Ward's son is still alive at Pine View, and may have been the person to shoot Landini or not. Dudley Ward's son is either Harold Beaton, or based on some odd hints by the old sheriff, young Sheriff Holt, who was never told the truth about his real mother. Okay, maybe that's a bit out there, but if Harold Beaton is Landini's heir, then wouldn't he have the motive to shoot her? Or if he's really telling the truth and saying he doesn't care about inheriting her money, then I say that it's the person I've suspected all along, for pretty Leslie Beaton. Because, well, maybe she'd want her brother to inherit the money. She knows Ossing will cover for her, and she'll avoid suspicion because she's pretty Leslie Beaton. And what's funny about this particular email, a lot of things funny, I will add, is that this email came to me before last week's episode went out on the podcast. And I asked for someone to explain why they might suspect Leslie Beaton and her brother at this point. And there we go. Seriously, I'm really enjoying Charlie Chan, and the fact that it includes the issue of racism and adds some unexpected depth to some of the characters makes it that much more engaging. As always, I enjoy all of your programs and fun, informative commentaries. Thank you, Holly. Well, thank you so much, Holly. And now that brings us at last to our Patreon supporter of the day, and I want to go ahead and thank Robert, Patreon supporter since July 2022. Currently supporting the podcast at the Shamus level of $4 or more per month. Thanks so much for your support, Robert. And that will at last do it for today. This has been fun. I've enjoyed talking about it, but I am conscious that this is probably one of the longest commentary portions and listener feedback portions I've ever done. So if you are listening this far, I really appreciate it. I also appreciate everyone who shared their feedback and comment. We'll be back next Tuesday with a new, shorter Charlie Chan serial. This one will only take 3 weeks to get through. But join us back here tomorrow for Broadway's My Beat, where...
I don't know. Tell me who I am.
Now, just take it easy. That's better. What were you looking for?
Pocketbook. I remember I had it. I think I had it when I was rocking right over there. I fell down.
Well, let's go see. How long ago did you miss your pocketbook?
A little while, I think. I don't know. An hour? No, just a few minutes ago. I can't remember when.
Here's where you fell?
Yes. I remember because when it happened, I stretched out my arm so I wouldn't hit the trash can.
Uh-huh. Is this it, miss?
Yes. Yes, that's it. I can remember that.
Let's open it.
Yes.
Here, the wallet. Here's a driver's license made out to Linda Arnold, 1912 West 54th Street. 5'4", blonde hair, green eyes. That fits. And this, in case of accident, notify Helen Carroll. Address the same.
Helen Carroll. Aunt Helen. Yes, that's right. My name's Linda Arnold, and Helen Carroll's my aunt.
Uh-huh. Something else in this purse, Miss Arnold. Recognize it?
Why, that's a letter opener. Aunt Helen's. And there's blood on it.
That's right, Miss Arnold. It's sticky with blood.
I hope you'll be with us then. In the meantime, send your comments to box13 at greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/Great Detectives. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.